let this shit get going, because I wanted to start recording a little bit of time so that everything syncs up with the internet and all that. Alright, so we live, and this is part 3 of me, Good Vibes 203, just vibing on the Dreamiverse, learning how to essentially make video games, something that I've always wanted to learn how to do for a long time. And fortunately, surprisingly, the PlayStation allows you to do this. So today I'm gonna be learning how to do this shit. Health, destroyer, checkpoints. We're gonna be learning how to put in modifiers and stuff, logic stuff for the game. And let's get right into it.
Use a health modifier gadget. We'll use it to make the floor around the platforms lethal.
Oh.
Health modifiers can damage or heal anything that has a health manager. And, as luck would have it, Connie has one built into her logic. Go to the assembly menu. Open it with the square button if it's closed. Select the gadgets menu. The one
I'm in play mode.
with the 3 connected squares. You'll find the health modifier in the movers and output section, which is represented by a box with an arrow.
Movers and output. Okay.
Now select the button that has a clockwork heart on.
Nah, I was wrong. Ah. Everything is kind of like, I love that. It's kind of like icons. So, obviously, once you learn the shits, it's gonna be. It would have been easier if they labeled everything with the names for beginners, but at the same time, that wouldn't require you to learn everything as much. I mean, you learning these icons, essentially, that's the logo is gonna make it more simple for you. I like
Your imp will now be equipped with a health modifier gadget.
Alright.
Stamp it somewhere central, near the floor, using R2 or X.
Reline that. Bow.
Then unequip the gadget with circle.
Circle.
Your scene now has a health
what?
modifier. But to make it work as intended,
I can't even make it
tweak it
stamp.
first. We'll do that in the next step.
No, stamp on that bit. Bow. Very nice. I want to get this all nice and visible. Bow. Yes, sir. Oops, wrong. Alright. A little zoom out. Still beginning.
Let's go ahead and open the health modifier's tweak menu.
Okay.
Hover over it, hold L1 and press square.
Square.
Here you can set the options for how the health modifier works. That includes how much health is modified, which is shown in the first slider. Right now, it's set to -100. This means it will take 100 health points away from anything it affects. Just enough to make Connie respawn. The modifier mode is set to per hit, so 100 health points will be taken away when anything touches it. But since we want the area around the platforms to be lethal, we need to set the modifier type to zone. Select the zone icon with X now, then go to the zone properties tab so we can change its size and shape. The icon is at the top of the menu and looks like a box in a zone. Look for the zone shape section of the menu, then select the cube.
The cube.
You can use the zone sliders to make the zone bigger. Be careful not to make it too tall. The respawn zone should be level with the pink lines around the platforms. If you need to, move the health modifier gadget nearer to the floor.
Hold on.
Zone should be. Look for the zone shape section of the menu, then select the cube.
Yeah.
You can use the zone sliders to make the zone bigger.
Put it over
Be careful not to make it too tall.
Oh, put
the
it
respawn zone should be level with the pink lines around the platforms. If you need to, move the health modifier gadget nearer to the floor.
Ow. Power moves.
When you hover over the edges of the zone, you'll see white arrow gizmos appear. Grabbing these with R2 will let you change the size of the zone. Using those, you can make sure the area around the platforms is covered.
Like that, pal.
Now let's test it in play mode and see what happens. Perfect. If Connie falls off now, she'll just respawn back on the platform.
I want to make
Before
it
we move on, maybe
like
we should do something about this booby-trapped bridge. Switch back to edit mode and rewind time with L3.
Alright, let's get it. I want to see how this plays out.
There. See what's causing it?
Oi, fuck off. Alright. Ah, I'm dead. Cool, I learned how to kill myself. Vibes. Ah, let's do it again. Big move. Alright. Reset time. Trigger zone. So.
It's that
play.
trigger zone. When Connie activates it, the bridge collapses and there's no way across.
Okay.
If you've finished the first logic tutorial, you'll know that the counter is being used to remember the trigger zone has been activated. If you follow the wires, you'll see there's one connected to each block. These red dots on the blocks are not gadgets. They show that a wire is connected to a setting in the block's tweak menu. Explore the logic for yourself. Or, if you want to move on and get Connie on her way, just delete the trigger zone by pressing triangle over it. That'll prevent any of the logic from activating. Then, once Connie can safely make it to the second platform, move on to the next step.
Okay. Whoa! Woo! Oh yeah! I'm gonna do something ambitious, and I'm gonna not rewind time.
Now's probably a good time to show you how to add checkpoints. When
Very
playable
tough.
characters like Connie activate a checkpoint, the scene remembers their progress. When they respawn, they'll appear at the last checkpoint instead of starting off at the beginning.
Yes.
Go to the assembly menu, then the gadgets menu.
Gadgets.
If the last section you used is still open, close it by pressing circle over it.
Okay.
Expand the gameplay gear section with X, then select the checkpoint.
Oops.
It's the one that looks like a location marker.
Location marker.
Now your imp is equipped with a checkpoint gadget.
Whoa. Very cool.
The direction of a checkpoint determines which way a character will face when it respawns. So make sure the front of the gadget, the side with the black outline, is facing the direction you want Connie to face. Remove the gadget from your imp with the circle button, then open the checkpoints tweak menu. Checkpoints use a detection zone, just like health modifiers. So select the zone size tab from the menu. This is set to a sphere by default, but to make sure it can't be missed, let's change it to a cube. You can use the zone size sliders to make the checkpoint cover the width of the platform. Above the gadget, you'll see a white move gizmo. Grab it with R2 to put the activation zone where you want it. Just make sure Connie can't miss it. The white handle shows the direction Connie will face when she respawns. Check that it's pointing the right way. Grab it with R2 if you need to adjust it.
I'm checking that it's pointing the right way.
Let's close that tweak menu with L1 and circle.
Yes,
now try it out in play mode to see if the checkpoint remembers your progress. Sorry, Connie, we're gonna have to respawn you again. But it's all in the name of science, I promise.
Science, I've done it. It fucked up though.
Great, there she is,
I think,
right at the checkpoint again.
Supposed to look.
When you're ready, go back to edit mode, rewind time.
That's not a bad. That's
step.
a pretty good perspective. That's cool. All right, whatever. Very nice, very nice. I'm happy with it. So, get over here.
This next bridge looks a bit too hot to walk on.
Bit too hot.
But Connie's a tough explorer, and she's always ready for danger.
Very
so
tough.
Let's give it a go.
Let's give that a go. Give it a wee go.
That block's too big for Connie to jump over.
Oi!
Better get her back to safety before it's too late. Let's switch back to edit mode and see how the bridge is damaging Connie.
Well, let me see.
Move closer to the bridge
I
and keep an eye out for any gadgets.
I want to see how it's damaging Connie. Connie? Alright, bow. See, I think it's a little stupid that the mans didn't teach us how to make it so that each block falls like half a second after you step on it, because that would have been tough. But hey, hold on. Oh shit, oh my god, no. Oh, I'm damaged. Do I die? That sounds like a beat. So that's the checkpoint I made. You proud of me? Alright. Let's see.
Attached to it. Ah, there's one. A Clockwork heart icon. So it's another health modifier.
Yes.
It looks like, instead of using a zone, this one is attached to the bridge. Wow. So whenever Connie walks on it, she loses health.
Give me a second. I gotta change this. Change the guides. Grid snap. Wait. Obey auto guides. Grid snap. Okay, I'm gonna assume that that's like the harshest setting to make it just BAP! Onto shit that I wanted to attach to. That's what I want. So, let's move along.
That block wasn't in the way. She could make it across. But what if the block itself could lose health? We could give it a health manager of its own and see how that works out. Go to the assembly menu, then open the gadgets menu.
Gadgets. You
may need to close the gameplay gear section if you opened it earlier. Then you can expand the movers and output section. Look for a heart icon, not the Clockwork heart this time.
There you go.
Select it with X to give your imp a health manager gadget. Stamp one near the block with R2 or X, then press circle to unequip it from your imp. To make the health manager affect the block, we'll need to attach it. The easiest way to attach gadgets to objects is to use what we call surface snap. Grab the health manager with R2 and hold it over the block.
Bah, right on
this.
All
you have to do to activate surface snap is hold L1 while your imp holds the gadget. This makes it hug the surface of any object you hover over.
I messed up.
Now release R2 to attach the gadget to the block.
I messed up.
You can also let go of L1 to stop using surface snap.
Wait. Oh my god.
In the next step, I'll show you how to tweak this health manager.
How could it all go wrong? Wait. Fuck. Let me just spawn in another one. I'm using this. Surface snap. Bop, right on the temple. Alright. I think we're all good. Shit. Let me see something. Okay. And let me just Oh shit. Alright, I'm gonna tweak this. Get the fuck out of the way. Alright. Hold on. Oh my god. Bro. How do I tweak that? Adjust. Alright, whatever. Foul. That's good. That's good. Okay.
Now that we've given the block health, let's take a closer look at it. Hover over the health manager, hold L1 and press square to open its tweak menu. The sliders here define the block's maximum and current health. Click R3 to play time, and you'll see the health starts to go down. That's because the bridge's health modifier is damaging it. But you'll notice it's going down much slower than Connie's health was when she was on the bridge. The reason for that is this health manager has a 1-second cooldown. So whenever the block takes damage, it's invulnerable for 1 second after that.
Ah!
Grab the cooldown slider with X and pull it to the left with your imp. So what happens when it reaches 0? Not a lot right now. But we can deal with that in the next step. For now, feel free to experiment with the health manager settings. Start time with R3 to see your changes, then rewind it with L3 to reset the health manager. Once you're done, you can move on to the next step.
Regular decomo. Boji berries. Yes, sir. Oh my god. Oh, give me a second, I'm ordering food. wipe out. Let's get right back into it.
An object doesn't automatically get destroyed when it runs out of health, so we need to do a bit more work before we can get rid of that block. Let's take a closer look at its health manager. If its tweak menu is still open, close that first with L1 and circle. See the output ports on its right edge. Hover over the one at the bottom, the one that has a heart with a cross over it. This is the no health output, which sends a signal when the health manager is depleted. It can be used to trigger any number of things, but right now, we're going to use it to destroy the block. Go to the assembly menu and take a look in the gadget section.
Gadgets.
It may still be open from earlier when you selected the health manager. Look for a skull icon on a button in the movers and output section and select it with X. This is the destroyer gadget. It destroys whatever it's attached to. To attach it to the block, we can use surface snap. So hover the destroyer over the block, hold L1 to make it surface snap, and press R2 or X to stamp it. Now you can unequip the destroyer gadget with circle. Okay, before we connect it up, let's just see if it works by clicking R3. Oh, it works all right.
Oof.
When time is running, the destroyer
It's gone.
activates and destroys the block. Rewind time with L3 to bring it back.
You got it, boss.
We don't want the destroyer to activate until the block's health has run out. To do that, we'll need to connect the no health output port to the destroyer's power. So hover your imp over the health manager's no health output port and press R2 or X to create a wire. This will make power ports appear on the gadgets in the scene. Stretch the wire over to the destroyer and connect it to the power port with R2 or X. Great! Time to test it again with R3 and see what happens. When the block's health runs out, it will get destroyed, leaving the path clear for Connie.
What? That's so cool.
But how do we know how much health the block has left?
Cause
we could always look at its tweak menu, but you can't see that in play mode. So click L3 to rewind time, and I'll show you how to display health in the next step.
Let's do it.
If the health manager's tweak menu isn't open already, open it now with L1 and square. When you hover over the menu sliders and buttons, you'll see ports popping out of the side. These work just like the ones on the outside of the gadget, but there are a lot more of them. And you might also have noticed that there's another gadget stamped on the side of the block. That's a number displayer. If we connect a wire from the current health output to the number displayer's input port, we'll be able to see the block's health count down in play mode. So let's go ahead and do that. Hover over the current health slider's output port. Then press R2 or X to create a wire and stretch it to the number displayer. Once you've connected it to its input with R2 or X, you can switch over to play mode and test out the whole scene so far. Excellent. Now we can see the block taking damage until it's destroyed. Once you can get Connie to the next platform, switch back to edit mode and move on to the next step.
Ah! Gameplay and stuff. Oh shit. Oh, I just made a counter for his health. No, I just have to stand. He's standing there menacingly. Not anymore. Which tough health regain. Tough repair. Okay.
Well, Connie made it through, but she's a bit worse for wear. The burn effect you see on her is triggered by the current health output from her health manager. It gives you a visual cue of her health. The more singed she gets, the less health she has. I'm not sure poor Connie has enough health left to make it across the last bridge. What she needs is a bit of healing, so let's create a healing zone where she can recharge. This green pad looks like a good place to recover. We can turn it into a healing zone by placing a health modifier on it, using Surface Snap. You've used Surface Snap before, so this should be no problem. Go to the Assembly menu and select a health modifier from the Movers and Output menu. It's the one with the Clockwork heart on it, remember? Now activate Surface Snap by holding L1. Then attach the health modifier to the green pad. Now you can unequip the gadget with the circle button and open the Modifier's tweak menu. We need to change it so it heals Connie. The health modifier is set to -100 by default, which won't do Connie any good. She has 100 health to start with, so that will take it all away and make her respawn. Grab the slider with X, drag it right, and set it to +20.
Oops.
We want the healing zone to heal Connie while she's standing on it, so you also need to set the modifier mode to continuous. You can leave the modifier type as impact, since you've snapped the health modifier to the platform. And that's all there is to it. Close the tweak menu with L1 and circle, and give it a try and play mode. Alright, that should give Connie the health boost she needs to cross that final bridge. Oh, she's been through a lot today, so take her through the door to end this tutorial.
Oh, my fucking leg. Boom, 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 boom. Whoa! Boom, 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 boom. Oh no! Fuck you, Cuthbert. What the hell are you so anxious for? You're already at the gate. Ah, let's get it. Alright, so I mean, we did health destroyer and checkpoints. That's what it was. I wanted to learn selectors and stuff for a while, like all these microchips and shit. Let's see what else can be learned. I've done this one. I don't think I finished it though. A button! Blinking always. That's pretty freaking sick. Ooh. Hey, let's go for it. Stamp a blank puppet. Reduce camera's distance down to 0 degrees. Turn on force position. Whoa. That's pretty sick. I mean, if only there was a way to kind of like auto-generate a voice to teach you how to do that. So I do like following along to like the voices too. That's pretty sick. These ain't tutorials though, these are like videos. Make one input go through multiple inputs.
Here we are, deep in the logic department of the Dreams Workshop. I've been conducting some experiments with selectors and exclusive gates. Cuthbert can never make his mind up, so learning these should help.
Cuthbert's a fucking
Oh, Cuthbert, what a mess. This is an advanced tutorial, so I hope you've already learned the basics of creating logic. Selectors and exclusive gates are used for choosing different options in logic. The simpler of the two is the selector, so we'll look at that first. In front of Connie is a rotatable bridge, alongside a button that opens the door on the next platform. These arrows are grabbable by the imp. We'll use them to control the selector. Open up the microchip next to Connie. Wow, that's a lot of gadgets. But if we take a closer look, it's actually quite simple. There's three grab...
Why does...
Wow, that's a lot of gadgets.
How the hell?
But if we take a closer look, grabbable by the imp, we'll use them to control the selector. Open up the microchip next to Connie.
Wait, what?
Wow,
why,
that's a lot of gadgets.
Why does mine look different?
But if we take a closer look...
I can't fucking see shit. Alright. Select. Oh. L1X. Not L1 square. Okay. Alright, cool. Put that to the side.
Look, it's actually quite simple.
Okay, how?
There's three grab sensors on the left. We can tell by the hand icon. The grab sensors detect when the arrow buttons are grabbed by the imp. If you hover over them, you'll be able to see which button they control. On the right, there's 4 keyframes that store the rotational position of the bridge. Try selecting them and you'll see what I mean. If you select more than one at a time, their effects will average out. You can use the circle button to deselect. To connect the 3 grab sensors to the 4 positional keyframes, we're going to use a selector. In the assembly menu, select Gadget, then open Logic and Processing. Find the selector, then select it with X. Stamp one in the center of the microchip canvas, between the grab sensors to the left and the position keyframes to the right. Then unequip the gadget with circle. In the next step, we'll set up the selector. Right, let's focus on the selector. The selector uses input signals to switch between different outputs. Open its tweak menu with L1 and square. The slider sets the number of options the selector can choose from. There are 4 positions for the bridge, so increase the slider to 4. Close the tweak menu with L1 and circle. The selector is much bigger now with lots more ports. On the right edge of the selector, there's 4 output ports. Create wires on the output ports with R2 or X and connect a keyframe to each one. Make sure you keep the keyframes in order. Now we have 4 outcomes for the selector to choose from. But how do we switch between them? On the bottom left of the selector, you'll find 2 input ports that don't have a letter icon. They are Move to Next output and Move to Previous output. These inputs will make the selector switch between the connected keyframes in sequence. We just need to connect them to the grab sensors for the arrow buttons. Create a wire from the grabbed output of the grab sensor that controls the right arrow. Connect it to the selector's input port for Move to Next output. If you're getting confused by all these inputs and outputs, just remember, left side of the gadget is inputs, right side is outputs. Now do the same for the left arrow grab sensor and the Move to Previous output port. We still need to connect the up arrow's grab sensor. Why don't we use it to reset the bridge? You can directly select outputs by connecting to the corresponding input. Create a wire from the grabbed output of the up arrow grab sensor. Then connect it directly to the A input on the selector. This means that if you grab the up arrow, it will return the bridge to point at the door, regardless of its current position. Now switch over to play mode to try out the controls. Use the arrow buttons to rotate the bridge so Connie can reach the button. Don't try and rotate the bridge with Connie on it though. She's only safe when she's on the blue circle in the middle. Once the door is open and she's back on the blue circle. Right, let's focus on the selector. The selector uses input signals to switch between different outputs. Open its tweak menu with L1 and square. The slider sets the number of options the selector can choose from. There are 4 positions for the bridge, so increase the slider to 4. Close the tweak menu with L1 and circle. The selector is much bigger now with lots more ports. On the right edge of the selector, there's 4 output ports. Create wires on the output ports with R2 or X and connect a keyframe to each one. Make sure you keep the keyframes in order. Outcome. These reset the bridge to the regardless of its current. Use the conducting some experiments with selectors and exclude. Duct help. Stamp one in the center of the microchip canvas between the grab sensors to the right. Output options the selector can choose from. There are 4 positions for the bridge and out sensors for the arrow but arrow. Connect it to the selectors. Now reset the to the A regardless of its current position. Now switch over to play mode to try out the controls. Use the arrow buttons to rotate the bridge so Connie can reach the button. Don't try and rotate the bridge with Connie on it though. She's only safe when she's on the blue circle in the middle. Once the door is open and she's back on the blue circle, grab the up arrow button to return the bridge back to its starting position. When Connie is across the bridge, return to edit mode and start the next step. The next obstacle looks complicated, but is really just a glamorous randomizer.
I'm gonna stop you here for now.